And I don't think actually Donald Trump cares much about any of these issues. I don't think he cares about European civilization collapse. In fact, he's quite a big fan of Europe. He, likes to visit the United Kingdom and his golf properties there, and was a big fan of the Queen. He likes the pomp and circumstance and the history of Europe. He's palling around with Macron. I've been told that they text regularly. He loved the Bastille Day celebrations there. He couldn't care less about the AfD and other sort of right-wing parties that are emerging across the continent. That's not his issue at all. I think it's a JD Vance issue, but it's not a Donald Trump issue. The Western Hemisphere is also, I don't think, a particularly big obsession of his. Imagine the situation where President Xi calls President Trump and says, I'm thinking about an investment project in, I don't know, let's say Panama, where I'm going to put up money to finance a port facility, and I'm going to give you 50% of the equity. Do you think Donald Trump says, absolutely not, stay out of the Western Hemisphere? I think he would embrace that and say, let's go into business together. So I don't think that he cares much about the Monroe Doctrine and that ideological component of the NSS strategy. And then I don't think he cares much about containing China. In fact, he says Xi Jinping is a good friend of his, a great leader of China. So everything in that document around containing China within the first island chain is a representation of some people in the administration that are very hawkish on China. In fact, arguably this is the most hawkish cabinet that we've ever had on China, but I don't actually think it represents the president's views. So, and this president, as we all know after watching him for so many years, does not get boxed in by any ideology, any strategy. So this document, even less so than most of the others, is I think, should not be taken as a representation of what this administration is going to do in the future on any one of these areas.
Interesting. This is why I enjoy conversing with you, Dmitri, because you're straight in. No, I disagree. And I agree with you to a point that I think that there's a degree of reflection. This is more about how JD Vance, that I had a conversation with the Financial Times' Martin Wolf on this, and he was saying that it's more of a reflection of sort of where MAGA wants to go after Trump, right? There's a lot of hysteria around who takes over the movement. Is it JD Vance? What about the infighting between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene and that sort of thing? So do you not think that there is any reflection of the NSS in Trump at all? It's more about his, posse and those around him and what they want to do. Like Mark.
Yeah, I'm quite convinced that the president has not read this document. I mean, he's not a fan of reading 30-page documents. So, no, I don't think it's a strategy at all. Now, if I guess you were to glean any insights from the strategy and you were to assume that JD Vance would be president in 2028, then yeah, I think it's a pretty good reflection of the JD Vance's view of the world, with some exceptions. I actually don't think that JD Vance is a huge hawk on China. So all that containment of China, I don't think that is necessarily his view. I'm not even sure that he's a kind of big fan of the Monroe Doctrine and fighting wars with Venezuela. But certainly on the European civilization collapse, that is his issue. That's what he sort of opened up with in his speech in Munich last year, and probably will do so again next year in Munich. So yeah, there are elements of JD Vance there, but not exclusively. I think there's a strong footprint of Marco Rubio. I think he cares deeply about the Western Hemisphere and the Venezuela issue, and many others, including Marco, that are hawkish on China within the administration. I think put in the China containment pieces in there.